Next slide. SHT, seduce her today. And I thought this was interesting because I've seen this play out. Every man should have a few single years. You need to learn how to take care of all aspects in your life, not just how to make money. Man, I get where SHT is coming from. I found it easy and natural to be by myself. But you ask some men to do this, you may as well be asking him to suck dicks. They just do not like being alone. And Bunny's talked to me about this. They're the guys that went from girlfriend to girlfriend in high school, a full-time college girlfriend, married, divorced, and married the week after the divorce is finalized. They cannot be alone. Bunny, if I remember correctly, like her first husband started dating the first woman he ran into in a club or a bar immediately after their divorce and then got married. It is not that unusual. You will see guys that cannot, by temperament or habit or upbringing, they cannot be alone. And that's not defining, him, but quite often you will see this. And I've learned, some guys can adapt. Some guys do learn. Hey, it was pretty good being by myself for a couple years. But for a lot of guys, and I've had a couple of friends that were like this, that like after the divorce, they were just miserable fucking people to be around. They're just, literally, we're talking about walking around with a frown on your face for 3 or 4 years until they meet the next chick that, will be their mommy and marry them and, do the whole thing. Some men just are not made for single life, and that's okay. You just kind of have to know yourself and you can't really criticize because that's how they're wired. But like SHT says, every man should at least try. A lot of these guys go for 6 weeks and they're like, yeah, this sucks. They want to have a girlfriend that lives in the house. They want to have, they want to be married, and that's completely understandable. What I have noticed too also is men that are older, say their wife passes late 50s, early 60s, or for whatever reason they end up single. They're the most likely to very quickly go back into a marriage because everything they do is they do as a couple, and they're so used to that for literally from their 20s for the last 40 years. You'll see that. But younger guys that have a little bit of a flexibility and have a little bit more adaptive ability should at least try just for a little while. And some thrive, not all do. And some men are just not, by temperament or genetics or upbringing or habit, just can't be alone. And they're not happy, and you can't ask them to be happy, and nor should you ask them to change who they are. It's like changing a leopard's spots. You ask some men to attempt to live by themselves and be, accomplished and move forward. You may as well be asking them to suck dicks because they just do not like being alone. They just can't stand it. They're the guys that went from girlfriend to girlfriend in high school, a full-time college girlfriend, married, divorced, and married the week after the divorce is finalized. And back in the day, it used to be they'd leave from their mom's house, they get married, and then they, as soon as the divorce is finalized, and you see this a lot still, is guys getting married the week or the day of that their divorce is finalized. And it's a double prong. It's one, they get right back into what they were in, which, made them happy. And two, it kind of shits on the ex-wife that she can be replaced. So if you have it in you for a couple single years, you may discover a lot about yourself. Not necessarily, the best thing sometimes, especially if you're hardcore, how you're wired. That's what it comes down to. So let's go to a question from